We are finally here. And in case you're asking, where are we? We're right here in this moment having a healing conversation. I've literally been planning this podcast for over 3 years. Did not have a name for it. I started on this journey where I was facing my inner self, and it required a lot of healing to take place in order for me to move forward in my life and become the best version of myself. So sitting in the garage one Saturday, I believe, might have been a Friday, but I was in the garage with my husband. We were having a conversation, and I was like, "Oh my God, conversations are really healing." And he was like, "That's what you should call your podcast." And that's how Healing Conversations came about with Kamaron Nicole. And this is a safe place for women to evolve from dark places and become the best version of themselves that God has called them to be. Here at Healing Conversations with Kamaron Nicole, we cry, we grieve, and we grow together. I am your host, Kamaron Nicole, but today I am not the interviewer, I am the interviewee. Let's get into this conversation.
On today's episode of Healing Conversations with Kamaron Nicole, I am your host, Tatiana Gaither. Many of you may know me as Cameron's assistant. If you don't know nothing else about me, just know I'm just a girl that loves Jesus. Cameron, we are here.
Hey, girl.
Like they just don't know. We are here.
We are here.
We are here.
We are here. It's been
Y'all, this is, they
it's
just
been
don't know.
a long time.
But before we get into being here,
Okay.
I got a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
It ain't the typical, let's talk about Kamaron Nicole, the stylist.
Oh,
The celebrity stylist at that.
oh.
It ain't Kamaron the wife. It ain't Kamaron the mother. Who is Kamaron Nicole? Not White, not Wilson. Just simply Kamaron Nicole. Where your values come from, your morals. Get into it.
That's a good question. Because a lot of people always start asking me about Cam the stylist. Kamaron Nicole, first, is a child of God. Kamaron Nicole is a gentle-hearted woman, very humble, sweet-spirited, very friendly. But the one thing that I like most about Kamaron, she has a heart for people. A heart to see people win, a heart to see people evolve and become the best version of themselves. Um, and I learned that from my mom. She was, I'm really her. I'm really a spit image of her. I saw my mom bend over backwards for whoever she could, do whatever she could for people, put herself last to make sure everyone else was okay. So, and my grandmother and my great grandmother, they made sure I was grounded in God. So I would say, shout out to the women that groomed me into who I am today.
Now, with you just describing yourself, how does that translate into Cam the stylist, Cam the wife, Cam the mother?
Um, Easy, because all the roles that I carry is really about making sure others are okay. When it comes to being a hairstylist, it's something about, first of all, I've never been that stylist that you just go to get your hair done. Number one, I've always been that stylist that curated relationships with my clients. So it's something about making a woman feel good, not on the outside, but knowing that I touched them some kind of way from within, because sitting in my chair, we're going to have a conversation. And even if you don't feel like talking, it's one of those days, I'm going to show you love. You're going to feel positive energy, whether I'm hyping you up or if I see you sad, just simply giving you a hug, letting you know somebody care, you know? And as far as being a wife and mother, I mean, that just comes natural because I have a heart for people. I have a heart to love people. I have a heart to nurture people. So it's just come natural.
And I can attest to all of that. I've played several roles in your life, but, I've been the client in the chair, and you definitely have poured in so many ways, and you don't leave the same way you come. So I can definitely attest to that. You ain't just hyping
I
yourself
ain't
up.
just hyping it up.
You really like that. So I can't say
Thank you
you've
so
never been
much.
just a stylist and that's it. You've been so much more. So
Thank
shout
you.
out to you. But I would like to say, with all of that being said, what is the biggest misconception that people have of Kamaron Nicole? Like they just have it completely wrong.
Oh wow. It's a lot that people have um misinterpreted about me. Number one being that I'm stuck up and rude. I think because I have built a social media presence, I have worked with celebrities. I am kind of on the scale considered to be one of the highest stylists. And my accomplishments, I feel like it automatically boxed me in to being some type of way. People think that I'm stuck up maybe because of my pictures or my post or my presentation of myself. Um, and something else. A lot of people think that I'm just this straight businesswoman.
They don't know, do they?
They don't know. And that's what I'm excited about. People getting to see, another side of me. But I guess on social media, like, I'm always positive. I'm always talking about God. I'm always, giving business tips, marketing tips. I'm always, just on the positive side of things. I avoid drama. I
Mm-hmm.
avoid the unnecessary conversations that don't have much to do with evolving or elevating in life. So a lot of people think that I'm just, a boxed in, stuck up businesswoman, and that's so not me. I'm probably a grown chap. You guys don't know that, but I am. I'm a big kid. I really am. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I am a jokester. I'm never on time, but I have been today.
You definitely have been.
Um, I'm really a fun person, but a lot of people don't know that just by following me.
Now, you definitely are business forward, like you are about your business, and there are moments where she don't play about her business, and I love that about you. But then, I ain't gonna say it's like a switch, a flip of a switch, but then you could be, girl, do you own a business? Are you sure? So you definitely you balance that very well. Can I ask how you do that?
I don't know. That's just who
Do
I
you turn it
am.
off and on, or?
I can.
Mm-hmm.
I can, but I don't know. That's just how I am because I do take my business serious because that's my bread and butter.
Exactly.
That's like I have children, I have a
Mm-hmm.
family, like so I have to be serious about that. But I don't know. I'm a big kid. My
Mm-hmm.
children are very playful like me. My husband is very playful like me, but I will say me and my children are a lot more playful than he is, and we be bugging his nerves. He be like, "Will you grow up?" But I don't know. It's just natural. My mom had a sense of humor. My daddy is a joke box. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just natural. My mama was like that. A lot of people didn't know she was funny and had a humor side of her because she was always business. But my daddy, honey, he's just full of humor. So I don't know. It's just natural.
Okay, so with you talking about your grandmother and your mother, have they influenced your career in any way, good, bad, or indifferent?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about it.
So my grandmother and my great grandmother, they were my first clients when it came to doing hair. They would let me roll their hair, relax their hair, grease their scalp, plait their hair, whatever. They always gave me that opportunity where my mom was like, "Girl, you ain't playing in my head." But actually growing up as a child, I knew I wanted to be a hairstylist, like, and I wanted to be a celebrity hairstylist to make that exact. But as I got older, I thought I really wanted to be a nurse, so I actually went to nursing school. I dropped out of college right before I started my clinicals, but I realized I was doing that to please my mama because I had a child at 16. I was kind of, I was the child that a lot of people probably expected to be like in the streets and just doing crazy stuff because I was kind of off the chain. I was a little bad. And I had a baby at 16, so my mom wanted me to choose a career that would be lucrative and would sustain me through life. In college, I realized that's not what I wanted to do. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And the more I prayed for God to show me what it is that I was supposed to do, the more I was seeing like hairstyles in my sleep. The more I would think about hair. So by this time, I had met my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time, and I was telling him what I want to do. He was like, "Oh, go for it." Well, my mom, oh God, she thought that was the dumbest thing that I could ever want to do and make a career out of myself, make a career. Knowing that I had a child, she was just like, from where we're from in Lancaster, like it's unknown of stylists to kind of go beyond where they're from, so she didn't think I had much hope. And that's kind of like how I reached like so much success in my career because I was hell bent on showing her like you don't know what you're talking about. So my therapist told me that I became as successful as I am today so fast, and at a young age was out of trauma.
Trauma response,
It
yeah.
was a trauma response because my mama didn't believe that I could. So yeah, the good and the bad influenced my career.
So you've mentioned God and prayer and how you prayed before you left, dropping out and then taking on this entrepreneur route. Tell me how your walk with Christ has influenced where you are in business now.
Um. Okay, so this may make me cry a little. So where I am now, I'm like transitioning out of being a hairstylist. I will say 3 years ago, God spoke to me and pretty much was telling me, showing me that my career is coming to an end. Um, and he showed me the direction that I was supposed to move forward in. I've always been the type that I'm a visionary. So God has showed me things. And when God showed me things, he'll show me some obstacles that I'll face, but he'll also show me the rewards. And God know me. I'm the type I want to know what it's going to look like. What is it going to be
From the
worth
top
my
to the bottom,
time,
right?
So God has showed me, and I will try to take things in my own power and make it happen, and I get ahead of God. And when I find myself getting ahead of God, I always found myself going in the merry-go-round, going right back to where I left from. So I will say that where I am now is what God showed me 3 years ago. And because I believe in God and everything that he showed me, and have showed me through my journey, I stayed the course, regardless if I was going in a circle, regardless of what people said about me, regardless of what it looked like. I know what God has spoke to my spirit, and I knew eventually I would be here in this moment. But I'm here now simply because God set me down when my mama passed. Before my mama passed, you remember I had you shut my schedule down. And it's really, I've let God take the wheel. And I just moved my hand off because, like I said, I kept myself going in a merry-go-round trying to get to this point, what God had showed me.
I want to interrupt you if
Okay,
I
go
may.
ahead.
Can we talk about disobedience and what it costs you, if you don't mind being transparent? Because we tend to, not you in general,
Right.
but we tend to not give God our first yes, or we tend to ask for 22 signs, and then we give us 22, you want 23, you got to have that just one more. What has disobedience cost you?
Ah, disobedience has cost me a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. And I'm not talking a couple $100, you know. Disobedience has cost me almost my whole bank account. Disobedience has almost cost me my marriage. Disobedience has cost um, a few relationships that I feel like God has sent to help me to my next level. Um, Disobedience has cost me a lot of sleepless nights. Disobedience has cost me um, a lot, a lot, a lot. A lot from relationships, money, time,
Hmm.
really time. It has cost me a lot of unnecessary time. It has caused me to have um, unnecessary drama. Because I look back, if I hadn't have been disobedient, I wouldn't have been in a few situations that I
Hmm.
found myself in. Um,
So, what do you say to the girl that's on her Christ walk journey or her healing journey that is timid about giving God their yes? What do you tell her? Or what do you tell yourself that didn't give God the immediate yes, if you could do it over?
if I could do it over, I would tell her to slow down, and trust the vision that God has given you. And a lot of people be like, well, how do I know when God gives me a vision? That thing that you keep seeing, that thing that you keep dreaming about, that thing that you keep talking about, that's what God is calling you to. I would tell Cam 3 years ago, trust the process. Don't be driven by a dollar amount. Be driven by your yes. And that yes will open up doors and take you through doors that a dollar sign can't buy you into.
And what I like to say is that yes, your experience changes. Your
Mhm.
experience shifts.
Mhm.
YES. Your experience shifts. Yes. So
Oh.
give God your yes if you're
Yes,
ready for that to shift.
the experience that I have now from my yes is I don't have those sleepless nights. I don't even make the money I used to make, but God has allowed me to sustain. I have not lacked. My
Hmm.
lifestyle have not changed. Um,
You're much more peaceful, I can say.
I feel it.
Hmm.
Thank you for recognizing. That
For
means a
sure.
lot. I have a peace that they say what surpasses our understanding.
Hmm.
In a previous podcast interview I did, he said to me, after the things that I've been through, most people would have been broken. But because of my yes, I'm still standing. And I feel like if I was still operating in disobedience, I would be distraught right now.
So you've mentioned being disobedient. You've kind of mentioned some setbacks. But how do you overcome those things, or how have you overcome? Like, what are some steps? Obviously, you did give God your yes, but it don't just stop there, right?
Mm-mm.
So, what are some things that you've done to overcome?
Um, I journal, and journaling has allowed me to measure my thought process from last month to this month. to see if there's any type of instability going on in my mind or in my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to see myself a lot better. Um,
And you can't see yourself or know yourself until you know the one who made you.
and that's it.
And when you know him, you can know who your true
I'm
self is.
very much more intentional
Mm-hmm.
about my time with God. I
Right.
don't start my day and I don't end my day without spending time with God. Um, that has been a game changer for me. And by spending time with God, I've gained it. And a lot of people, I wonder, how do you spend time with God? Let me just say that it comes from reading the Word. And a lot of people question, how do I read the word? How do I get into it? Google will be your best friend. If you're feeling depressed, you're feeling unsure, Google those feelings and ask for Bible verses that supports it. And when Google gives you those Bible verses, not only do you need to read the verse, but you need to read the passage in which the verse comes from, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can get an understanding and see how God move in other people's lives. And when I see how God move in the Bible, I know that if he did it then, he'll do it
again.
now.
Absolutely.
So I rest in that. I journal, spend time with God, and I'm more strategic and I'm more disciplined. Discipline is how I had all that going on all day, and I still been on time for everything.
Indeed, you have.
So discipline has been a key factor, and a lot of people lack that. And I lacked that for a long time on my journey. I was not disciplined at all. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go off the fly. But I realized that God is a strategic God. And in order for me to be in alignment with his will, I had to become strategic with how I moved and how I spent my time and how I spent my days in order to grow through anything that I was experiencing. And you know me. You know I'm a bet on myself every time. So before betting on myself, those are the things that I do now prior to betting on Cam.
Speaking on betting on yourself, you don't mind starting over.
Ooh.
Why not?
Because I know every time that I've started over, I started over with wisdom. So that means I didn't technically start over. I just,
Came back hard and strong.
that's it. Came back.
You got some naysayers that gonna be like, "Oh, Cam doing something else. Lord, she done
Mhm.
did hair. She done had 14 salons.
Mhm.
What is she doing now?" What do you say to that person?
Doing me.
Watch and learn.
Watch and learn, like, for real.
Because
Because
you know the naysayers are there.
like, the crazy thing about it, that has been a part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Since I started, I've always heard you doing the most. You do too much, this, that, and the third. But
Does that fuel you?
it do.
Mm-hmm.
It do. And when I hear that, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. It used to bother me. It actually have tricked me out of a few positions God have called me to. But what I've learned was I evaluate those that's saying this stuff about me. And every time I look, I'm like, oh, they ain't doing enough. So it really fuels me to go. Like, I'm going to be honest, the negative, it fuels me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was then. I don't even pay attention to that no more. I don't care. Like, it's so many people that are impacted by my journey and what I have to offer from God. Like, I can't be distracted by them no more. So now I ain't gonna say nothing but keep going,
Mm-hmm. And you can't expect them to understand because God didn't get in the vision.
He didn't.
Not yours anyway.
No.
Yeah, so.
And I know that it does
Mm-hmm.
not make sense what I've been through or how I've moved, but
Mm-hmm.
what I can tell you is that in every time I started over, in every cycle I went through, God created a new me to where I am now. And I'm a better version of me than I've ever been. So I'm grateful for all the start overs.
So let's talk about some of those, not necessarily your startos, but some of those pivotal moments in your career that shaped you. You've lost your mom now. You've went through some ups and downs with your husband. You've had businesses lost. just talk about that. Those are some pivotal moments, but how have they shaped you and your career?
Um, the most pivotal time of my career, I think, was when I closed the Boss Boutique. And a lot of people thought I closed the Boss Boutique when Cam passed, but it was already closing.
Yeah,
and she was opening her own salon, and we had the little duo because the Boss Boutique was gonna be a wig store, and she was gonna have the salon. Um, when I closed the Boss Boutique and Cam passed, I don't know what that done for me. It actually woke me up because for me, I've seen people, be mentored by me and grow and evolve, but I never seen it in that capacity. When people pass away, you really realize their influence and the impact they have, So I didn't, through her death, I was able to recognize, like, my superpowers, I would say, because I saw this young baby evolve into a legend under my leadership, and I'm talking about her, she come from a beautiful family, so it was already in her, but when she came to me for her career, like,
skill set,
it just went to another level. So that, and her last words to me in our last conversation we had before she passed, she told me, she said, Cam, when you see me, know I'm a reflection of you. Like, you the GOAT. She said, there's so many people. And at this time, I was like, I'm just done mentoring. It's just too much. She was like, don't stop. She said, because there's so many young people like myself that need you. And that was an eye-opener for me. I didn't understand it. I was so stuck. But when my mom passed, that's where I'm at now. Like, those words that Cam left with me, knowing what God has already called me to do, and my mom passing, has been very pivotal for me, and especially out of this hair career, because if I'm honest, I only went this far with hair really to prove a point to her. And I've checked off everything that I wanted to accomplish, and even checked off stuff other people wanted me to accomplish. So now is, God, I'm here, I'm yours. Lead me and guide me into what you want me to be, what you have for me.
Today's episode of Healing Conversations is brought to you by The Wig Cave, home of the glueless wigs, offering ready-to-wear wigs, custom wigs, and wig maintenance, and by Wilson's Marketing Firm. We are a marketing agency dedicated to helping brands grow, connect, and thrive in an ever-evolving digital landscape. We specialize in strategic marketing solutions that combine creativity with data-driven insights to deliver measurable results. Whether you're a startup looking to build a bold brand presence or an established company seeking to refresh your strategy, our team of marketing experts, designers, and digital specialists works collaboratively to craft tailored campaigns that engage your audience and elevate your business.
So that helped me here. And when it came to my differences with my husband and what we went through, and if I'm honest, the things that we went through, everything was out of self. Like, I don't have no real horror stories when it comes to my husband. So with the extent that we got to in our differences, it actually made me look at myself even more. Like, I evaluated him and his traits, and I mean, it's all there. Honestly, I was the one playing catch up. So just him still being willing to be that same man to me after what we went through and give me that great version of himself, an even better version, it motivated me to be a better person, a better wife, a better mother, and just an all around better person and reciprocate that energy that's given to me in my home. So all of those situations really help strip off old layers of Cam and help me become who I am right now.
Talk about therapy. Like, I know sometimes as black people in the community, or those Christians, those of us who believe in God, we can do therapy and God together, right? Talk about how therapy has helped you along your journey.
Therapy has, I don't want to say it provided me with a safe place because I'm gonna be honest. I'm very transparent. So me talking and being vulnerable and transparent about different things that I face and go through has been a form of therapy for me as well. But actually going to sit with a person and have therapy, it's helped shine a light back on me and not so much on everybody else. It's helped recognize Cam and Cam flaws and what Cam could do better and what Cam could do different. More so because as humans, when we go through things, we are quick to point the finger at someone else.
Absolutely.
But in therapy, fingers point back at you. So it's helped me see myself.
I love that. I love that. Cool. So, how would you say the unique experiences you've gathered, like through your career, how have they made you stand out? Like, how have they branded Kamaron Nicole?
I will honestly say, I can't say the experiences have helped brand Kamaron Nicole. I will say my boldness. Like, I was standing out before I had any unique experience in the hair industry, and that's just simply by me showing up and being bold. That has helped me stand out. I've never been afraid to try anything. Never been afraid to showcase what I have to offer the world. I've never put myself in a box for real. So I feel like that's what helped me stand out, not necessarily my, experiences.
Are you afraid of no longer doing hair?
I am.
What does, well, obviously, I mean, you're almost there, but what does life look like without being a stylist? And if this is just saying what you want to look like, because you're not there, you're almost there. So you're kind of like nibbling. You got that appetizer of what it's going to be like, but who is Cam that does not do hair anymore? What does that look like for you?
She is a mentor and coach to those that are looking to pivot within their business, those that have had some dark experiences and unsure of how to navigate through them to still be and show up as them best selves. And really and truly, more so than anything, she's just a vessel for God. She's like, however God want to use me, I'm available. I will say the appetizer that I've had of no longer being a stylist, my days are more peaceful. My mornings are more slower. I'm more available to my children and my husband.
Yeah, I love that.
And more so, if anything, I'm more available to the people that call on me for guidance.
Okay. So what's one piece of advice that has stayed with you no matter where you transition from? Whether when you were in nursing school, when you were doing hair, where you're venturing out now, what's one piece of advice that's always stayed with you? I don't know. I've always heard trust God. I was going to say that's what seems to be have consistent through all of that.
Trust God.
Even when you were inconsistent with him, he's always been
inconsistent with me. And what I've learned throughout my journey is that God give us free will. You can make your decision.
Mm-hmm.
And God will always meet you where you are. Now, what you got to go through with your decision ain't on God. That's on you. But God will always be there. You asked me something, and I want to backtrack to that. You asked me about unique experiences that made me stand out. I said, my boldness, but I will say my heart for people. I I've not met many people that are willing to pour into the next person from a genuine place. I've not met many people that's willing to hold someone's hand and walk them through the blueprint, and that's always been me. Whenever God elevate me from one level to another, I've always been the one to reach back and say, "Come on, let's go." I've always told God I want to be that vessel so people can see. It doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter how you grew up. You can do it because I can.
It sounds very purpose driven. How did you know you were walking in your purpose, or how was your purpose given to you? Like, have you known it a long time? Did you just find out yesterday? Like,
No,
how'd you know about
well,
your purpose?
I always knew that I had a thing for helping people. I helped my mom take care of her mother on her deathbed. I helped my mom take care of my great grandmother. I have an aunt with cerebral palsy. As a little girl, I was helping her eat and stuff like that. And also throughout school, I always held like leadership positions. I might have been captain of the softball team. I was, president of something in college. It's just so many different leadership roles that I've had that put me in position to help people. So I always knew I like helping people, but when I became a hairstylist and my career started evolving and I was being transparent about, taking care of my mom, or just even how I might be feeling, I might be aggravated, just being transparent, God allowed me to see that people were drawn to me. They that I have some type of influence or something that attracts people that makes them want to become a better person. So many different women have told me how I've inspired them to quit their job and pursue their dreams. How many women have DM'd me and told me how they come to my page on a regular just to be motivated and encouraged. Even when me and my husband was going through, a lot of people didn't know it, but we had been separated for like almost a year, before it actually hit the media. But when it hit the media and then people saw us rekindling, a lot of people just been, "Pray for me. I want that for my marriage." How, like, so like people are always intrigued about with the moves that I make, but more so the posture, my heart posture and my posture through whatever I'm going through. So I realized like, God put me here to help people navigate through things.
I don't have a question, but I have a something I'm going to speak to, and if it leads you to say something else. I've known you for at least half of our lives now, so I want to say your purpose, your calling has never changed. Your assignments have been different, and God is allowed to give us different assignments. So in one season, you were assigned the salons, and you've done that, salons, the suites, all that, and then you've done career things such as mentoring and things of that nature. You've held classes, but now your next assignment is what you're doing right now. So I want to say that your calling has never changed. Your assignments are different in different seasons, and you're just answering each one. So I'm talking back to the naysayers who's like, she's doing too much, she's doing a lot of things. You get in tune with God and you see what He having you doing, because today you might be doing one thing, tomorrow you might be doing something else. So to me, you're just answering your assignment. Your calling, your purpose has always been kind of set in stone, and you've been doing that. You've just been doing it in different assignments. So I've loved watching you, and some days I don't know what we're finna do, or when you send me a text that is 70 feet long, and I'm talking about I got to scroll, and I know what that means because of our relationships, but your brain is. Your head big, your brain big too. But
Thank God.
It's a lot going on in that head, and it is so powerful. Like it's inspirational. Like I don't see it crazy. I know sometimes you be like, okay, Tab, I think I'm crazy. I'm
No,
like,
I
no,
know.
I really. Now, of course, we have established our relationship long, but I know sometimes you be like, okay, you got what I seen you. Okay, don't think nothing about it. Like I know what's going on, but that head be going.
And you know what I want to, like, you're saying that, what I want to do is thank God for sending me you.
Oh.
No, seriously, because you do understand my mind. You do understand if I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, God and showed me something or put something in my spirit, and I send it to you. You take note on it, and I can always come back to you and say, now God showed me. Oh, I remember. Yep, right here, March 27th. Yep, he showed. So this is what he gave. God is so strategic. Literally, he gave you. So I feel like you my wife in business.
Yeah, we are definitely
We're
married. We are definitely married in business.
Listen,
for sure.
and when I say like,
it's been so organic. Like
it really is. It's so crazy
organic.
because I've always referenced. I have 2 husbands. Like, y'all, when I tell you, she is literally like a spitting image of my husband and who my husband is in my personal life. She's that in
and
business.
She's always said this, guy.
Always. Like, literally, she holds me accountable. My husband hold me accountable. She goes to the Lord before anything. My husband goes to the Lord. She challenges me whenever I'm ready to make a decision out of flesh. Now she's like, hold on. Let me talk to God, and we'll be back on this.
She be like, I need it. I'm like, no, we gotta go to God.
Gotta go to God. Or she'll be on her own fast. I'll be on the fast. My fast might be up. She'll be like, well, I'm still on mine. We'll come back to this once I'm done and see what God say. And I will say, like, you can't pay for that. Like, you can't buy that. Like, and over the years, like, I've had mentors and coaches be like, oh, you can find a cheaper assistant. You can go on whatever the website is where you can find people to work for you overseas.
And now with ChatGPT, I mean, that's an assistant.
I mean, okay. But when I tell you, like, nothing can compare to having someone on your side that know the Lord, that can pray. Like, if I'm going through, I send it to Tat, already in the prayer closet. I'll never have to question anything. I'm talking about, I can call her and cry about whatever. I will never hear it again. Like, she's just a solid person. And because of who you are and how close you are to me, it speak volume about who I am. And for that, I thank God, because I feel like he give me personal gems to, like, as a reminder, like, you are your favorite. You're one of mine too. Like, that's why you have them, you know? So I thank you for being that on this journey.
Oh, well, I don't want to get too sappy.
I know you will cry those lashes off.
I will definitely cry, but we're not going there. So let's lighten this theme back
see your eyes.
up. Yeah, because I would definitely cry. And I'm like, well, we don't see no tissue right here. But I don't want to cry. But the feeling has always been mutual. And, you know, I let you know how it is. Sometimes I say things a certain way, and we've never really fallen out, have we?
No, she'll let me know about myself. I let her know about herself, and just keep going. Like you know what I'm saying? That's genuine. That's real relationships. If you can't correct your people that love you and tell them something out of love, those not your people.
Absolutely, I agree. It feels so good. It's just, this is what we've been working towards, and we are here.
We are here.
What's next for Kamaron?
Whatever God say. That's all I can tell you. I do know that we have healing conversations. That's my ministry. Like, that's my new baby. Like, people watch me nurture hair salons, but healing conversations, this is my new ministry, along with the marketing firm. That's all of us together. But
what about a book? Are you writing a book?
Oh, am I? I am. So right now I have a series called From Broken to Boss, and the first book that I'm working on is called Grieving While No, grieve through.
Grieving while growing, growing while grieving.
Grieving and growing.
yes, it's those things.
Yeah, it's
the
all
word
that.
we're still working on, but it's definitely grieving and growing.
We're almost complete.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost complete. So by the time this episode do air, it will probably be available. I'm super excited about
It
that.
has to be available. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Oh, it has to be available by the time this air. So check out Healing Conversations WKN. That means with Kamaron Nicole, but in the website is Healing Conversations WKN.com. You will be able to purchase the book there. I'm super excited about it. It's so really good. And for her to listen, for her to tell me something good. Too. And she read. Yeah. She read. I'm talking about 50 books a month.
I do not read 50 books a month.
Oh,
but I do like to read. I'll sing. She's like, what book you reading now? I'll be sending her little passages, but I just love to read. But the book is really good.
And it's really good for those that are grieving. And I'm trying to tell y'all, like, my heart is broken. By the time this air, my mom probably gone like 3 months. But it's been 2 months, and I'm telling you, I've been grieving, but because I have breath in my body, I know that I have to keep going. So I wrote that book with people with a broken heart from loss, whether it's been a loved one, leaving old things and people behind, whatever your loss may be. I wrote that book with you in mind to help you push through and motivate you to grieve and grow.
Okay, so before we close out, tell me one personal habit that has contributed to your success.
Probably speaking to everybody. Yeah, I speak to everybody. I speak to people that don't even like me.
You don't meet no stranger?
I don't really meet a stranger for real. And that has been a blessing to me because I've spoken to people and introduced myself to people that actually have introduced me to opportunities.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you want to say or the people to know? Episode 1. Healing Conversations with Kamaron Nicole.
You can do anything that you put your mind to. Anything.
You can do hard things.
You can do hard things. Mm-hmm. You can do it.
Do it broken. Do it grieving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do it broken. Do it sad. Do it angry. Do it mad. Like, in these past 2 months, I have been all of that. Mm-hmm. Sad, angry, mad, hurt. Oh, God, it's been awful. I've been through a lot of emotions, but I've moved forward anyway. So whatever it is that you want to do, it don't matter how you feel because your dreams and your desires aren't going to wait for you to be okay. That's not how life works. Whatever it is that you want to do, do it regardless of how you feel. Regardless of how you feel. Because we're not here forever.
No, we are not.
And one thing for sure is there's an invisible time clock. And it's ticking. Every day. Mm-hmm. All day long.
Life is short.
And the crazy thing about it, you don't know when the alarm go off.
Time is so fleeting, for sure.
You don't know when the alarm go off. And God go say, time is up. So while you're here, make it count. Because when you leave, people are going to know you by 2 things. What you done on earth and how you made them feel.
Do you have any regrets?
I do. And it's only one. And God humbled me. When I didn't know what God was doing in other people's lives, I remember putting my mouth on someone, speaking something about someone that God had sent to help me elevate to another level. But because I didn't understand what God was doing in their life, I labeled them something. I labeled them a scammer.
We are some recovered gossip girls because we really do not be gossiping no more. We have let that. So that has learned. Shout out to us.
Shout
Yeah,
out!
we are not those
God,
girls
you are
anymore.
faithful.
Indeed, he is.
I put my mouth on someone. I called them a scammer simply because I didn't understand the strategy and thing that God had gave them. Because, mind you, that's what God called them to.
Right.
And I was humbled when I heard people putting their mouth on me in the same way. And I was angry because why do I gotta scam anybody? Like, God been too good to me for me to play like that. And I've never been the one to do anything behind closed doors because, for one, I care about my reputation. I care about my character. I care like integrity, all of that. But when these people that got upset with me labeled me this and said this about me, God humbled me. He quickly reminded me of 7 years ago when I put my mouth on someone that he had called. My lesson there was be careful who you put your mouth on because you don't know who God has called to do what. And you don't know who God is protecting. And you reap what you sow. And I literally was humbled in that moment, and I had to eat it. And I wrote a letter to the person that I said that about, and I burnt it up because, of course, they don't talk to me no more, you know. But I burnt it up, and I hope that they forgive me. But that's humbling. That's humbling.
2 Timothy 2:16. Y'all look it up. I'm not gonna quote it, but it's relevant to what she just said. So I really appreciate you saying what you did regret, because I think too often when that question is asked, well, I don't regret that because it made me who I am. Like, no, I thank you for truly answering that and being transparent, or just putting some thought. You know, I actually do regret this, and I wish I hadn't stayed there. But people often that we get that Sunday school answer. I don't regret that because it made me who I am, and they do that. But we got some things that we could have done differently, and we have regrets.
And I regret not being obedient to God sooner. I do. But I'm here now. Ain't no turning back. I don't desire to be, you know how people are like, oh, getting back to the old me. I don't desire to be her. Have no desire to be her.
For sure.
Growing forward.
Love that.
I'm so proud of us.
I'm so proud of us.
I'm
And this
so
is
proud
just
of us.
is just the start of something else. Like, it's just another beautiful chapter that is blooming. So I'm super excited to see what's to come of this, because get on board now if you haven't. This is not the end.
This is not the end. It's certainly the beginning of, I ain't gonna say the beginning. It's the continuation
For sure.
of greatness. And one church announcement before we leave.
What's the church announcement?
So, of course, this platform is for women that are in dark places, that, you know, their soul is yearning to evolve and grow and heal. But it's also a platform for small business owners. So if you're a small business owner and you are looking to get the word out about your business, or showcase your business, or advertise your business, this is the platform for that as well. We have sponsorship packages, and you can email us at,
The email is healingconversations.withkn@gmail.com.
so email, she'll send you the information for the sponsorship packages. But yeah, I'm always about however I can use my platform to help the next person. That's what it's about, because it's not mine. God gave me this, and I want to utilize it and make sure God get all the glory.
You're going to always receive it back tenfold. I love that about you. Well, guys, that is going to wrap up our first episode of Healing Conversations with Kamaron Nicole. I am today's host, Tatiana Gaither, but going forward, your beautiful host will be Kamaron Nicole.
Thank y'all.
See you next time. Well, me, I'll be going back to my day job, but she'll see y'all next time.
Y'all will see her again.